I'm going to tell you a secret Hollywood doesn't want you to know. The hero's journey is super sexist.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Huh?
Now, that doesn't seem like much of a secret, does it? I mean, heroes have been rescuing damsels in distress since before Dante and Orpheus ever descended into hell to save their true loves. And lately, those seemingly fragile princesses, they caught on, and they weren't too happy about it.
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big strong man showed up?
Yes, what is up with that?
And can you blame them? I mean, who wants to be the helpless victim time after time after time? You see, humans finally realized females were tough. And for the last 10 years, we've been inundated with stories of women as the heroes. And it makes sense. They thought they were righting a wrong. But what they didn't understand is that you could have a story about 3 women sitting in a broom closet and discussing calculus for 2 hours, but it would still be a story about rescuing a princess. Now, how is that possible? Well, because the gender of the characters and what they do is irrelevant. It's all just a metaphor. It's fake. It's not what the story's about. There is no external journey. You see, the hero's journey is sexist, but not against women. It's sexist against men. Let me explain. Dante does descend to hell, but not to save Beatrice. He does it to save himself. And that's the secret. In story, women represent wisdom. In fact, so do dragons and gold. It's why dragons guard the princess. It's because anyone stuck in the intellect of the left brain won't be found worthy of wisdom. Their quest for knowledge will consume them. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, why is the hero's journey a masculine journey? Well, for one, we've already learned that the story comes from the solar cycle, and traditionally, the sun is masculine, while the moon, sky, and earth are feminine. But the second and most important reason is that women in story are already divine. They don't need the journey. And the irony is that all the Hollywood producers that tried to empower women by giving them a hero's journey actually did the exact opposite. They disempowered women. Now, to properly understand this, it's important to realize we aren't just talking about gender, but energies. And in reality, we're talking about the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Now, I get it. In a world governed by the logic, facts, us versus them, and victimhood of the left brain, all of this must sound like mumbo jumbo. Unfortunately for those people, it's the truth. And it's in everything. Including education. You see, education used to be right-brained. It possessed a feminine energy. Teachers didn't teach. They weren't experts or instructors. They were more like midwives. They didn't impart truth to the student. They drew it out. The student birthed it. It's where the word education even comes from, to draw out. The goal was never to teach people what to think, but how to think. If a student had a question about a pineapple, the teacher didn't give them facts about a pineapple. He said, "What do you think?" And the student was free to learn through experience. That's what knowing means. It's from the Greek word gnosis, which means knowing through experience. This is why the first time it's used in the Bible, it says Adam knew Eve. Yep, it means they got it on. You see, in the ancient world, truth was considered recollection. This is why Plato said all learning was relearning, and Christ told people to take no thought 5 times, once for each of the 5 senses.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
They all understood that while the left male brain thinks, the right female brain knows.
Don't think you are. Know you are.
Unfortunately, education eventually changed from the female energy to the masculine energy. Magically, the concept of experts became a reality. School became about finding the right facts and memorizing them. It became indoctrination. Teaching went from drawing out truth to raping the mind by penetrating it with the truth. Wisdom was demonized by the intellect of the left brain. That's why the princess has to be rescued. This is why Trinity is in danger at the beginning of every Matrix movie. She's hunted by the agents of the computer-like intellect. And why is she in danger? Because men are asleep. It's why Neo is asleep at the start of every film. He's stuck in the left brain. And to become whole, he'll have to rescue the feminine, the right brain, the princess. You see, Trinity and Neo are 2 halves of the same person. It's why Luke and Leia are twins. They're 2 halves of the same whole. Instinctively, we all know this. Lovers call their partners their better halves, and we all call marriage a union. You see, The Matrix was a documentary, but every story is. Without any exaggeration, you could substitute your name for the title of every book and movie on Earth, and they would still work, because they're all about you. Culturally, we already know that women and wisdom are the same thing. We instinctively use words like divine feminine or divine intuition. We also see this in the various rites of passage found around the world. Worldwide, males have to be initiated into manhood. It requires action, and it must flirt with death. While females are automatically accepted into womanhood because they are born divine. Now, it does not mean the female initiation is easy, and some are really hard. But their point is to awaken the divinity already within the female. The initiations, while not pleasant, aren't meant to signify death, and they usually take place within the confines of the community. The males is completely different. The child must endure a type of death in order to be accepted back into the tribe. Adulthood doesn't come naturally. It's something that must be earned. This is why every story on the planet has an ego death. Before the hero can step into the mystery of the right brain, the ego or label of the left must pass away. It's the only way to be worthy of paradise and discover your true self. It's the only way to rescue the princess. Every story on Earth is sexist, and it's by design. Beware anyone who preaches an us versus them mentality. That's the thinking of the ordinary world, and the very ignorance every hero must mature out of. The masculine and feminine energies are dependent on each other. To lose one is to lose both. This is why the bronze serpent story is in the Bible. This is the alchemical marriage. Combining the male and female energy always brings healing. Neo can't become the one until he finds the wisdom of Trinity. This is true in story because it's true in us. There's only one story. There's only one person in that story, and that person is you.